modern day masculine man, take one.
What makes a modern day masculine man? When you drink your liquor straight, a modern day masculine man. I pay all the bills and I tells my woman the truth. Got my shit together, do what I wanna do, say what I wanna say. I won't bend, I won't break, you are not me and I am not you. I kept it real, so now I can do what I wanna do. Modern masculine man. Welcome to Man School.
Welcome to the Modern Masculine Man Podcast, Mitch. Woo! Yo, what up? Welcome to another Wednesday night, and it's 8 o'clock, and y'all know what time it is. I'm here with my lovely co-host, the lovely Miss Carla Nicole. How is your Wednesday going? They say it's hump day, and I don't feel like it's a hump to get over. I feel like I'm already rolling. I'm already over that boy. Well, I guess Wednesday's the middle of the week, right? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So I guess that's why it's called hump day, right?
Right. Yes, absolutely.
Do you see Wednesdays? Do you see Wednesday as that hump day and Monday as that bad day? Or how do you look at that? Because I've always not looked at it like that. Like, I always felt like Monday is the day to start over. Like, people be like, Monday's so bad. And I'd be like, well, Monday is a start over day. I've been fucked up the whole weekend. So I need a Monday to start over, get all that stuff out my system.
Right. Well, for me, I think a lot of times we don't really acknowledge for real, like the challenge beyond the week. But a lot of times people forget actually Sunday's the beginning of the week. And if we really acknowledge it properly, we'll realize that Sunday is really the day to where there's supposed to be a reset. So Sunday is really the reset. People that are still working, you and I are entrepreneurs. I mean, you still have your job, but you work at night. So you don't have that influx of all those rush hour traffic and all that hustling and bustling to get to work. You have a different work schedule. So you don't have that like most of us do or most people do. And then I'm an entrepreneur, so my schedule is based upon my need, based upon when people need me. So, I mean, I might have body work at, 6 o'clock in the evening. It just varies. So I don't really have that rush of what is the day like. So it's just a little different for me. So I actually start my week on Sunday. And then
ironically, like me and Chris, we both Sagittarius. We got this thing Sunday morning. And I always get up earlier than her. She sleeps late, 1 o'clock.
Oh.
But Sunday, I get up, man. I start cleaning up. I start prepping food. I need all the clothes to be washed and folded by Sunday. I need to start the week off knowing I feel like, all my black shirts is folded. Like everything is done because tomorrow is a new day. You know what I'm saying? It's like a new week. So I look at it by Sunday, but I never thought about it like that. I work third shift, and ironically, that you say it, I actually deal with that traffic trying to get home.
Really?
So yeah, the traffic is bad when I'm trying to get home in this area. So so many people like going into Raleigh and coming out of Durham. So I work in Raleigh. So when I'm trying to come home in the morning at 8 o'clock, traffic is bad, and I just be like, and for some reason, that's when you get sleepy. That's when you get sleepy. That's when you be at the stoplight and you look around and you be like, oh shit, I done dozed off for a second at the stoplight, or a car behind you like be like,
I'd rather it be while you're sleeping and I mean at the stoplight than while you're driving. That's
yeah. But yeah, that's like a daily thing, you know what I'm saying? Coming home in that traffic. But so having said all that, what we talking about on hump day? What we talking about tonight?
Well, we're still talking about women being beside themselves. So tonight I want to talk about the book that I have called She's Beside Herself. It is an ebook. And I wrote the book to express how important it is to know that, yes, we have our chronological age. However, our mature age is quite different compared to, where we grade on the soul freeze test. So a lot of people don't understand that. I mean, as we age and we have our solar returns every year, we get a different age and we grow up, so called, and we get older. A lot of us don't realize that the unfortunate arrested development in emotional maturity. And so I created the book so that women can look at, yes, I have been on the planet for X amount of years, but I still feel like I regressed, or I don't feel like I've really matured on certain things in relationships, and I'm not sure why that is, or I'm not sure why I get attitudes, or I'm not sure why I act a certain way. So today I want to talk about self reflection. It's very important, I think, in relationships. First of all, the number one relationship is with you, yourself.
Mhm.
What relationship you're in, you got to take you with you. So for women, a lot of times we forget the importance of knowing our own power of self-reflection. So that's what we're going to talk about today. How are people dealing with, you know, looking inside self and realizing, I do have some shortcomings. Why am I doing this, or how am I acting? And if I'm acting immature, why is that? And what actual age am I when I look
Mhm.
at maturity? And so that's what we're going to talk about.
Yeah, I can dig it because I know self reflection for me, it only comes when I'm willing to be accountable. You know what I'm saying? When some shit that went down, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
I don't find myself walking around
Right.
reflecting on my inner self unless some shit that went down. Like I done got in some, or you know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, Javon, you got yourself into something. Analyze, you know what I'm saying? What's going on with yourself? So
Right.
that's just me. I don't know if that's for everybody, but I don't when I'm up and when I'm up and when I feel like when I'm winning and things are going good, I don't do that. I only do that when I'm down. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's why, again, when we're talking about emotional maturity, it gets real scarce when we have to sit down and think about our emotional management of self. We have, even as you see in the background, I have my grandson that's acting up because he's having an emotional breakdown for whatever reason. Who knows? But
Yeah.
when we're dealing with emotions, a lot of times we don't realize that we can be a master over them, but we don't realize is that we cannot really fix what we don't acknowledge. And a lot of times we don't even acknowledge that we're having immature thoughts,
Yeah.
immature ways of acting, spats and whining and all of that. Grown women still whine even when they're grown, and
Yeah.
they're pouting. That's pouting. Remember when you're a little girl, I'm sure you've seen little girls, they pout. That pouting is now attitudes and grown woman expression, mannerism. So we act
Yeah.
real funny, like we'll roll our eyes or smack our lips. That's all from the youthful side of who we were when we were pouting and not getting our way when we were young. So these are all different types of understanding of, well, how do we get to these spaces, and how did we not mature out of them? Well, because we didn't fully develop, because again, we're celebrated for the years on the planet, but not celebrated for our arranged way to where we handle emotion. We don't think about it that way.
You know, I think it has a lot to do with our youth and our rearing and our upbringing and just how our society raises boys versus raises girls.
Right.
Like my sisters were allowed to pout. They were allowed to pop their lip, you know what I'm
Roll their
saying? The
eyes.
things that a kid does. But when I was a kid, if I popped my lip, my mama said, "Don't be popping your lip like no damn sissy." So I'm like, you didn't associate it, a kid like, dang.
Yes.
You know, can we go? Can we go up Nene house? Now, dang, don't be
Mhm.
popping your lip like you know, damn sister. You ain't got no lip gloss on, or
Wow.
uh, if we were sad, my mom would say shit like, "You better fix your damn face." You
Mhm.
know what I'm saying? Like my mom wouldn't let the boys, walk around sad and
Right.
that little pouty look because we didn't get something. Or,
Right.
or or even when we cried after getting the ass whooping, shut up all that crying before I come back and give your ass something to cry about.
Right.
So it's like
It's a
as a
whole
boy,
different, whole
yeah,
different.
as a boy, I've been conditioned that consequences are coming.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? You can't avoid them. As a boy, consequences are coming. So
Right.
you kind of condition to self-reflect, especially after you sitting in the room on punishment and got your ass whooped, and you think about it as a kid, like, why did I do that?
Right.
I knew my mama was gonna get me. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? But you're like, shit, I got caught. You know what I'm saying? That's all I could say was I got caught. That's all I knew to think of. I didn't realize I was a class clown and I was doing it for attention and
Right.
trying to irk the teacher, trying to make the teacher mad. I just thinking I'm just doing some shit because I'm a kid. You know what I'm saying?
Well, with women and grown as we grow in age in our development in our womanhood, a lot of times we never really checked in on the major problem that we tend to have, which is our fight and hustle and tussle with our accountability.
Mm-hmm.
So the main problem is we don't want to acknowledge our accountability. But how can you be accountable if you don't self reflect for nothing? Everybody else's fault is why you're in the position you're in, or in the condition you're in, or how you're dealing with certain things. It's not because of your own decisions, it's because of the fact that you are acting up and you
Yeah.
are and you're not being accountable for anything. So because of that, we end up as women feeling like we can describe and act a certain way, and we it doesn't matter if we're accountable or not. We actually get a like you said earlier, we can get away with not being accountable, and it's okay in the scheme of the outside scheme of things. But men have to be accountable. So here's the problem. When we don't have accountability for women, we end up finding ourselves in a mess with trying to figure out, well, how am I not accountable? Well, you're not accountable because you keep doing something over and over again, and you have no coincidence. You have no coincidences or anything. So again, this is why we're in the position we're in, because a lot of times you're taking my grandson just took my pretzel crisp. Just doing the he's fine. He's fine. I'm just
He
teasing.
good.
He's
Yeah, do
good.
let
You
him.
can have him. But yeah, so again, when you sit down and look at all of these things, you realize that no one really is accountable when they're not being focused on their mature level of development. And so women never really had to sit down and learn to, first of all, self reflect. That's problem one. To look at self and realize I'm really not accountable, or I'm okay with not being accountable. Matter of fact, I don't like being accountable. How about that? How many women do you like? Do you realize that they really don't like accountability?
It's funny because when I met my wife and we first started dating, I used to be like accountability and bears and bubbles. That's a buzzword that's on social media. I think I made that word popular on social
Oh,
media.
did you? You probably
Accountability.
did.
Yeah, because in my phrase in bears and bubbles, on the high side of life is opposite of the low side of life. And my
Right.
phrase is I feel high and in heaven when I'm accountable for my thoughts.
Yes.
I feel high in heaven when I'm accountable for my thoughts.
Mm.
And then the bottom opposite of that is I feel low and in hell when I blame others for my actions.
Ooh,
I feel low and in hell when I blame others for my actions. So high opposite of low, heaven opposite of hell,
Right.
Accountability is the opposite of blame, and
Right.
thoughts is the opposite of actions.
Right.
So when we sit back as a man, uh, and I analyze the thoughts that I had, because my thoughts led to my actions, because I thought about this shit before I did it. That's why it's like that. You thought about this shit before you did it.
Action's
And then when
always
you get
right.
yeah, then when you get caught, it's like I feel low and in hell because I'm blaming somebody else. So I know I told this story before, but real quick, me and my man was out looking for prostitutes young one night,
Oh,
18, 19 years old. He
okay.
driving one car, I'm driving the other car.
Mm-hmm.
And he got caught and I didn't.
Mm.
And I could just remember him complaining and saying, man, why are the cops out here trying to catch the man that's buying instead of the woman that's selling? That's messed up. That's messed up. And he was blaming the police,
Mm-hmm. Of course.
blaming the
Yes,
police.
of course.
And I was saying to him, Rodney, man, you know, we thought this out and we planned how we was gonna do it and everything. If you found one, this what you was gonna do. So we thought this out.
Yes.
So the
It was
second that he
pre-planned.
said he was sitting in the back of the van after I said that, you know what I'm saying? He said when he got out, he thought about it. He was like, wow, I was blaming them for something that I had thought of
Yes.
and actually did.
And
So it's a situation where that a word accountability was in my class and it was on my board every day. And my class was growing, 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 growing. And I always would say accountability.
yes.
But you know, it's a situation where men are going to be held accountable. As a man, you can get your head blown off for the shit you say.
Right.
As a man, you can get your head blown off for the shit you do.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? As a man, you walk around thinking about accountability because your word is your bond and your actions can get you fucked up. So
Right.
you behave differently.
Yes.
If you can't kick somebody's ass, you keep your mouth shut when you're around them. You know what I'm saying? If I couldn't keep somebody's ass, I'm 6'6", 290 pounds. If I couldn't think I couldn't kick somebody's ass, Michael Jai White, I would acquiesce to. But
right.
women, yeah, women, she could be your size and run up on a nigga my size, slap the shit up. Motherfucker, what you slap and step back like, what you gonna do? Because she's not expecting a man to knock her ass out.
No.
You know what I'm saying? So it's a level of accountability that men have to be accountable. But the whole point was when I was first got with my wife, you know what I'm saying? And we would talk and we would have certain situations and she would just act like I was doing something so bad to her. And then one day I just said, you know what? You know what it is? You ain't had to be accountable to nobody since you left your mama's house. And you left at 17 and was out on your own. And you ain't had to be accountable to nobody because every man that tried to confront you about something, you just was like, well, fuck it, shit, my way or the highway.
Right.
I'm the first dude that's like, nah,
Right.
you're still gonna cook.
Right.
You're still gonna cook. We had it. Well, where are you going? I'm going out to get something to eat. No, you got a hamburger in the sink. You still gonna make that hamburger happen? What you think? Because we had a argument. You ain't gonna cook.
Right.
And
Well,
so I'm the first dude she ever had to be accountable to because she wanted to stay with me.
I think what is difficult in the scheme of things, even in my coaching sessions currently, I'm dealing a lot with this particular scenario. A lot of heartbreaks are going on in the scheme of what I'm dealing with currently in coaching, and I'm having a lot of women just in this. They're in this cycle in their mind where they're like, I gave up everything, or they'll say something to the degree of, I could tell you what he's going to do next and all this stuff. I'm like, I get all that. I said, but, one of the things that I don't think you're realizing, and I've been using that pretty much a very similar scenario that you brought up just a minute ago. I'll say to them, how many drug dealers sell drugs to someone not buying? And they just look at me like, oh. I'm like, you ever realize that the one that's taking the drugs gets arrested and they're complaining, but I wasn't selling it. I wasn't selling. Why am I arrested? They're like, yeah. I'm I'm like, well, you keep buying the same story this man has told you over and over and over and over again. Who's the problem here? The accountability piece. Now, it doesn't feel good for the people I coach because I'm talking to women and younger women. They're usually in that pocket of 35, 45 area, and I'm telling them, look, you are having a hard time dealing with the fact that you are buying what he's selling. And then they look at me like, oh shit. I'm like, but I'm saying you're not looking at the fact that you are just as much involved with the transaction being done to you. So I understand you feel you gave up everything and that's your narrative that you're saying to yourself. But let's look at this for real. So I'll address one of the things in the book. It says, being beside herself is the moment awareness begins. Check this out. It's the pause between reaction and response. Discomfort is the signal, not the enemy. And then when she feels unrecognizable, that's the invitation to look inward. So when the women come to me, they're all upset. Oh my God, I lost everything. I don't know what I'm going to do. My mind is triggered. I don't fix it. I'm like, well, so you're unrecognizable to yourself when you look in the mirror? I don't even know who I am. Wonderful. What do you mean? Wonderful. Now we can get started on some real stuff now, because now you're coming out of the identity you have been so fixated in being in. Because of course women want to get that identification by having that man's last name or having that man acknowledge them as their girl or whatever. But it doesn't matter, does it? When we really look at it for what it is, does it matter? No. But when I explain to them, you are not structured in the proper flow of being in a relationship with this man. But you are part of the transaction, the back and forth.
It's funny because last week,
right,
I was talking to a guy about the same subject I was talking to a woman about today, right?
Right.
And the thing about I don't call myself life coaching. I'm saying I'm reflective discourse because I'm just listening and shining the light back. I don't give advice about you should do this or you should do that or this, that, and the other.
Right.
So my thing is this sister, for some reason, women think that men are supposed to buy them a drink, call them, date them, take them out, wine and dine them, wash their car, send them cash apps, do all this stuff for them in order to create a relationship. You understand what I'm saying?
Oh, yes, sir.
But they don't see the reciprocity that they supposed to do while this guy is courting them. It's a courtship, like tennis court, back and forth. Right. In a court, a lawyer, defense, and a prosecutor goes back and forth. Right. So it's like she was taking this attitude that you're saying about, oh my God, I did all this, I sacrificed this, and I did all this. And it's like, I was saying to her, what did you get? Didn't you have a boyfriend?
Right.
Why it's like, why are you making it seem like you did all this and you did all this and sacrificed all this? No, you were exhibiting reciprocity for your man so you could get what he was doing for you.
Right. Exactly.
She said, yeah, but I think the situation she was mad about, because she said it, she said, yeah, but women can do all that and still not get the man. He can walk away with somebody else. And I said, men can do all that and he still could not get the woman. She can walk away with somebody
Absolutely.
else. So why don't you understand that the experience was your pay? You know, I had a good man. I had a good man for 6 months or 6 years. We went on trips, this, that, and the other. The experience was your pay, right?
Yes.
She don't get that. She keeps saying something happened to her. Somebody did something to her.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And what I was trying to get her to understand was, at the end of the day, ain't nobody did nothing to you. No. She would rather create a narrative of somebody did something to her. Now, on the flip side,
Mm-hmm.
exact same situation, I'm talking to the man.
Okay.
And when the man got to telling his story, it was the exact same situation as the woman.
Right.
I said, you know what happened, right? You know what that man said?
What?
Yeah, man. Chasing them yellow, fat ass yellow bitches.
Is
That
that what he
man knew, yeah, that man knew exactly why he was in his situation.
said? Okay.
I said, ha, 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 break it down. He said, man, all my life I was dark skinned and couldn't get no fine yellow bitch. And I got a little older, started making a little money, and I had a fetish for them fine yellow bitches. He said, I'd have been married to two of them. They both of them took half of everything I had. I should have learned my lesson. He said, now my last bitch was a fine ass yellow bitch, and she done did me the same way all of them do me. He knew exactly what his problem was. His taste and his appetite for women.
Okay.
It's the reason he keep ending up in these situations.
Well,
The
he is.
same way, the same, very same way you said that to this woman,
Mm-hmm.
you are keep buying these drugs. And whatever type guy you like, you buying these drugs from the same type guy. I told the lady last week, I was explaining to her, I said, if I tried to be with the type of women I like, that's not good for me. I like a Suge Avery bitch, a bitch that can sing, smoke, drink, run the street, take her to a swingers club, slut
Mm-hmm.
her out. She have fun. We have fun. All she care about is us laying up, sleeping. She get up, fry some pork chop. We go back to sleep. A woman like that ain't got no money, ain't got no stability. She can't help me grow no business and plan, raise no children.
Right.
I said, so stop acting like somebody doing something to you. You
Right.
like guys with gold teeth and dreadlocks, and they
Right.
act the same. You
Right.
like little short buff guys. You
Right.
know, we get the same people treat you the same way. You know what I'm saying? There are genres of people. They call archetypes.
Yes.
When you look at the movie, the four girls, the best friends,
Right.
the light skinned one is always the smartest one, but she's the leader, but she fucking ditzy and she get hurt by men. She can't get her life together. She don't know what to do because she got the most money. Everybody over her house drinking her wine and she's spending paying for trips.
Right. But
The
you know.
heavy dark skinned one is always married. She's
Right.
the grandma in the group. The one your complexion, she always define one that can get all the goddamn men. Every other week she got a new man, but don't nothing ever go right for.
Right. Ever.
And
Exactly.
now that it's changed, it's always a dyke friend, and she dark skinned with a little fade.
They're just doing the most. Just doing the most.
And she a whore, fucking everything.
Just
So
doing.
these archetypes are real.
They are.
If our women, like you said, that lady keep buying the same drugs,
Yes.
most of the time it's because you're picking your mate or trying to date from shallow reasons. Like, I like this.
Right.
I remember my wife said she didn't like my shoes when we met. She didn't like how my shoes and my pants look.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And but she said, I like guys that wear Timbs and this. I said, how that been working out for you? So I'm my wife's first uh regular guy, I guess. You know what I'm saying? She said she thought I was tough. I said, I wasn't tough. I'm college educated. I ain't no tough nigga.
Well, I'll
But
tell
I
you
know I
this.
said a lot. Go ahead. I'm
What
sorry.
I will say is this. I do know that visionary men, men that have vision, must allow for their God of their understanding, or whatever they believe in, or whatever they need to allow their life partner, wife, whatever, they need to have um, that woman to be appointed to them. And I'm going to explain what I mean by that. When a man is a visionary, his eyesight, his two physical eyes will fail him every time in his choosing. He'll never choose properly. Unfortunately, they will always fail when they choose with these two eyes right here. because they have a
Mm-hmm.
type, like you just mentioned, the sugar, whatever you said. You
Still
got
gave it from color purple.
all of that you talked about. That's just delicious to your, just delicious to your taste. Fails you every time. So I always say, visionary men have to have the woman appointed to them, and she may not be of his taste physically. She may not be the woman that he would have chose out of a crowd. She may not even be a woman that's his quote unquote type. But when she's appointed to his life, usually she fits real nice and snug in what he's trying to progress and do. And she's usually in alignment with his vision, and she's purposeful.
Mm-hmm.
Purposeful women aren't chasing men. They're usually placed in a visionary's life or visionaries' lives because they have that, what I call a stamina. They have that long road uh, ability to take care of visionary
Mm-hmm.
or that
Yeah.
visionary. And the problem is they're overlooked and not seen because they
You
might
know,
not have all of that, the big booty, or they might not have the light skin or the pretty Dr. Bryant look or whatever. And so the men are going to overlook her to get to that one and find out, well, damn, I got hit with the wrong woman. Well, you have to, as a visionary man, he has to focus on not being too caught up in his physical eyes. He has to allow for that woman to kind of be brought to him by appointment. And
yeah,
visionaries know what I'm talking about when I say that. When you sit a man down that's a visionary and be like, are you driving your desire for women per se, the types? Are you basing it off of these eyes or this eye right here? Which eyes are you using when you're picking a wife or a life partner or someone that you're trying to have in, the first lady or whatever you got going on? What are you doing? And when they sit back and say, "Yeah, man, I was using the wrong eyes."
it's funny that you say that because I consider myself a visionary, and I met Chris at church, and I remember she used to work with the youth ministry,
Hmm.
and they were doing such big things. The church I was at was such a big church, and they was doing such big things. They didn't took the kids to Jamaica on a mission, and just doing a lot of big things with the youth ministry.
Right.
And I saw her. I used to always be like, that dyke chick always got a truck full of kids because she had a Benz truck, and it was always a lot of kids with her. And I worked with kids,
Yeah.
and I thought she was a dyke. You know what I'm saying? The
But
way she carried it.
what
Yeah,
do you think
yeah.
that? Where did you get that
Well,
from?
Chris from New York, and
Oh,
her swagger. Yeah, her
okay.
swagger. She used to wear Timbs and
Okay.
army fatigues, and you know what I'm saying. She's a
Okay.
girly girl, but that was her style. But long story short,
Okay.
uh she liked my homeboy. She had a crush on one of my homeboys,
Mm.
and I kind of was like, when she hollered at me to speak to him for her, because we had started doing plays together, like with the youth. She came to me and she was like, I was the director of the drama ministry at my church, so she was like, I want to do a play with the youth. So we had worked together a couple of times, and I always used to think and say to myself, yo, Shorty fine. She got a real nice body, but I was like, yo, she act like a nigga, like she's a dyke. You know what I'm saying? So when she asked me to link her up with my man, I kind of was like, yeah, I will. And I kind of already knew what he was gonna say, but I said I'll say something anyway. He was like, nah, man, she looked like a dyke. You know what I'm saying? She too masculine for me. You
Mm.
know what I'm saying? And that's how I looked at her. So we had worked and we had did some stuff together, and
Hmm.
it came down where I was like, yo, I'm gonna shoot this film, with the youth. And I was like, uh I'm gonna get these cameras. And she was like, oh, I'll get them for you. I'll get them for you. I was like, nah, I'm gonna get them. You ain't gotta get them. And
Mm.
she's like, nah, it's for the kids. She's like, I ain't buying it for you, nigga. I'm buying it for the kids. You work with the kids. So I kind of thought that was cool. But
Right.
as I moved forward, it was like, say for example, one day I saw her. We knew we had been knowing each other. And
Hmm.
then one day I saw her. It was like I think it was Mother's Sunday. Mother's Day, and they was like a sermon on virtuous woman.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the first time I saw her with woman clothes on, like a girly girl, like slacks, blouse, heels. I was like, oh shit.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I knew. I was like, yo, her swagger, the dude in her, the what I thought was a dyke, you know what I'm saying? That's just being rough around the edges. Once
Mm-hmm.
I saw how she looked as a girly girl, I was
Mm-hmm.
like, yeah. And so I actually went to my pastor, and my pastor was like, nigga, you LeBron James in the church. All these women love you. You my armor bearer. You could pick from anything you want. And
Right.
he was more on the lines because like they was like saying I was gonna be the next Tyler Perry. So he was more on the lines of saying, get you a lawyer, a doctor, a chick that make a lot of money, that
Mm-hmm.
just want to have a handsome nigga on her arms that's gonna be able to take care of you while you trying to do your thing. Cause that's kind of how he was. Like he was open. He was like, yo, when I met my wife, I knew I was gonna be a pastor. So I needed a chick that's goddamn had some money and was gonna hold me down while I was trying to grow my church. So he was
Oh,
like, that's the type of chick I picked. He's very practical. So
okay.
I was supposed to pick this bad chick that I had went out a couple of times with. And
Right.
he was I da da da. I was like, I don't like her, man. And he was like, what? You don't like her, man? That girl pays she a millionaire. I was like, I don't like her though. He was like, so what you gonna do? What's who you? I said, I like Chris. He was like, Chris, the girl from the drama ministry, I mean, from the children's ministry. I was like, yeah. He was like, why you like her, man? He was like, he was like, she's beautiful, whatever. He was like, but nah, man, nah. He was like, not her, not her. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? I was like, well, I like her. You know what I'm saying? And that's who I picked. But the
Right.
point I'm making is everything about her and our purpose was already linked and tied in before I even thought she was cute.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm
Yeah, 'cause
saying? So
you went around all those circles before you
yeah,
got
so when
there.
when you look at life,
Yeah.
and I don't by far don't think my wife is not beautiful. Don't get me wrong.
No, I
You
know,
know
but
what I'm
the
saying?
whole point is that was my point is you didn't look.
Yeah,
You ended up having to go through a lot, and I think that really is the richness of it. Is that a lot of times when you talk to real men that really have found a woman that is in balance and in sync and in alignment with their vision and what they're trying to build and do, you notice that they do love the way their wife looks, or well, they wouldn't still be together with them. But it wasn't that was per se
yeah,
the
it's never the
only
looks.
thing, the first thing. No.
But you know what? It's so funny because men will actually advise and tell men, yo, get you a 7, get you a 6 or a
Right,
7,
right.
marry that. They actually say that. And
Mhm.
it's funny because when they say that, they really not saying don't get a beautiful woman. They're saying get a 6 or a 7 according to what the world thinks.
Right.
He can be beautiful to you. You
Yes.
know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So it's a situation where even some of my homeboys or friends when I bought her around, they was like, yeah, she look good. She got a nice body, but grow up like, you sure that's who, you know what I'm saying? They looking at it like who they think I can get.
You're right.
You see what
Well,
I'm
again,
saying?
that's what I'm saying.
Which is crazy. Which when you think about it, it's really crazy.
It is, but that's
So
common.
but that, like I said, with that man, he said it straight up. Fucking with them fat ass light skinned girls. He know that's not what he's supposed to have. He know he can't get that unless he offer his money and gonna let her rule over him.
Well,
So he will always do that.
and I would hate to bring him up, but Tyrese found the same thing happened to him. Tyrese got that wife, that first wife. He just couldn't get enough of her beauty, and she got a lot of his money at the end. And now the woman he's with now, she has to. I think she's relaxed on trying to push him into any type of like a legal binding or a marriage or whatever. So she's easy on it. She's not
Yeah,
really forcing it. But they've been together, I think he said 5 years or whatever, but they are actually more in sync, if you notice, based upon not looks, but she's really down for Tyrese. And you could tell she's like easy on him. Like, I'm not rushing you to do nothing. You don't owe me nothing. But the
yeah,
other one was like, well, I'm so bad, I'm so pretty, I should have everything, so that's what she left with, everything. But
Yeah, it's
again,
sad. That's sad.
it
I
is
like how you
sad.
said that.
It is sad. It's awful, but it's true. And he even mentions it on a lot of his other podcast conversations. Like, man, I got hurt. And he really was hurt for real. But again, when we go outside of looking at it for what it really is, men with vision cannot pick and choose the woman. The woman has to be appointed to him because
Yeah, like I
every
said all that to say, I think Chris was appointed to
there's no
me because
question. There's
when
no
I
question.
say appointed, I mean appointed by God, the universe,
Absolutely.
something.
That's what I'm talking about.
Because
Yes.
I liked her as a person.
I know.
I liked her as a person,
Right.
and didn't think she was attractive.
Right. But
I
that's
thought she
that's
was
the
a
that's
I
the
thought she
point.
was a I thought she was gay. I thought she was a lesbian. And then by the time I saw her like regular, I'm like, oh wow, like
I'm
yo,
moved.
this chick is beautiful. Like this is a woman's woman, and she has all the daintiness, the girliness of a girl. You
Yep.
know what I'm saying? I'm thinking that New York exterior, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, I don't like that shit. You know what I'm saying? But I like that as a person. So, that's why we both into art. We both want to change the world. We both love kids. We both love people. We both show offs. You know what I'm saying?
But
We
that's what
can
I
build with
mean.
each other. You know what I'm saying? She could take my light. She can take my light, and I can take her light. Because
Right.
there are times we go places, and Chris is the center of attention from all the men and all the women, and I just sit back and let her be her. You know what I'm saying? And vice versa.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? When she went to grad school, she actually went to my university for grad school, and she just came home and she was just like, "Yo, your professors kind of worship you, like they think you're gonna be the next something." And I was like, "Yeah." I was like, yeah, "Now you see, motherfuckers think I'm great." I,
Right.
I know you didn't. I know because she was like, "Yo, your professors speak so highly of you." Like one of my professors, put me on the cover of the magazine for the
Oh,
university. Like, yo, big man, big plans, and he's a Jewish guy, and he told my wife, he was like, "Yo, I think your husband is going to be something great." He was like, so I did an article on him so I could say I discovered him. And
love
she
it.
kind of laughed it off. He was like, "No, I'm serious.
Oh,
He a Jew. He like, I discovered this motherfucker. I knew he was going to be." You know what I'm saying?
that's what
So
it is.
I
Exactly.
laugh at that because that appointment, that thing that you're talking about, you have to have that if you have a vision. Because a lot of times, my ex, I remember somebody saying something. We was out at dinner and I'm cutting up, and somebody said something, was like, "He's so funny," and she kind of like, "He ain't funny." And right there I knew it's time to leave her. How
You
you
feel
gonna
me?
say I ain't funny and everybody think I'm funny? We at dinner entertaining your friends and all your friends laughing at me,
Hmm.
and you like, he ain't funny. Like, you jealous of me. You jealous of the light, you know what I'm saying, that I have on me.
And that's the sadly that's often the case when you're not when they're not appointed. When they're not an
Yeah, I
appointed,
picked her like you said for prettiness.
I can't make this up. I promise you. I tell clients all the time. I say, listen, if I'm telling you something, I'm telling you from I know, not I think. I'm telling you, I know. When men pick with their physical eyes, it does not work every time. It actually fails them worse. It costs them more. It really hurts them hard to a different degree because it's not someone that is in alignment with you. It is now a person that is just you chose them. And so a lot of times when you choose a woman, 9 times out of 10, you love her and you're into her and you're moved by her, but that's not reciprocated low key. They're
Yeah.
9 times out of 10 not feeling you like you're feeling them. But I'll tell you what they do
Especially when
like.
she's a little bit older than you and got herself together, and
Mhm.
and you're enamored by her beauty,
Yes,
and
sir.
in her mind, she like, I'm finna get me a young stud husband.
But I'm gonna
And
tell you
once she got that young stud husband, she turned into like so nonchalant. I don't care about anything, but all I care about is you being here. But as far as like feelings, conversation, oh man, I don't care about nothing. I got a husband, goddamn it. I done had my wedding. I took my pictures. I don't care about shit. When I go out, my husband look good on my arms. That's all I can. And when as we separate, I say, you just like having a man. She was like, who don't like having a man? You're a handsome man. I was like, wow, this woman is really telling me, motherfucker, you just a handsome man on my arm. I don't expect you to be responsible. I got money. I'm straight. I expect you to just be a handsome motherfucker on my arm.
Well, and I'll tell you this. This is something that I plan on dropping very soon, but it's not that she wants you. She just likes that you want her. She's in love
Mhm.
with that. A lot of women aren't, especially if you chose this woman, she's in love not with you, she's in love with you loving her. That's a whole different energy. Because you're looking at it like, oh, she's into me. It's like, no, baby boy, she's not. She's into you being into her. So that's what she's
Mhm.
attracted to. And so a lot of times these women aren't even making love to the man. They just like you making love to them. But that's a whole nother, we'll be on a whole nother show on
Yeah.
that. That's a whole nother animal. But let's go back into this is very important. I want to talk about this because this is another part of self-reflection that I don't think we're paying attention to by the book is that self-reflection tends to expose patterns, not people. Let's say that again. Self-reflection tends to expose patterns, not people. So the problem is a lot of times when we self-reflect, we're exposing ourselves to certain things we continue to do. We do something over and over and over and over and over again. And in order to look at that pattern, it means now I have to be honest with self. Why do I keep going down this rabbit hole? And like I told my one client, I said, you keep going over there. You keep testing the waters, but when you're going over there, what are you seeing? Well, I know what he's going to say. I know what he's going to do. I said, you know a lot about him. What do you know about you? Then all of a sudden it's like, oh, that now there's crickets here. So you've done all this studying on your lover or whatever, and this is how women end up. Y'all better write this down. This is how a lot of women end up calling themselves losing themselves because they study the man to the point where it's obsession. They're studying his thinking. They're studying what he's going to say. They study what they think he's going to do, and they spend all the time in predictor mode so they can have a comeback with what he's going to say, how he's going to act, and what he's going to do. And then the next thing she knows is, I lost myself. No, you didn't lose yourself. You're not paying attention to your patterns. You're paying attention to everything that man says, everything that man is doing, how he's reacting, to the point of obsession. I'm like, how do you know all of this? And then when I ask them, they'll tell me, well, I already know what it's going to be and this and that. I'm like, okay, so let me ask you something. They'll say, yes. Okay. If he comes back today, they'll say, yes. And he tells you he's going to fix it. He's going to do right. He's going to change it up. He's going to do all this and that. What are you going to say? And then guess what they say? Oh, I don't want to leave nobody. I mean, if they're really trying to fix themselves, and I mean, I'm gonna support them, and then I'm gonna tell them that I'll be there for them when they figure it out, and I'll give them this amount of time to get it right, and they go on and on. And I say, oh, really? Oh, but you just got done telling me all this list of reasons you're not going back. But now you're telling me you are going to be the prize after he finishes his so-called therapy sessions he's going to get. I said, so he's going to wrap your legs around his neck like a medal? He gets that? I said, that's not true. You just lied to not be yourself. And this is how you end up getting back into the same messes you're always in. Then she looks at me shocked. I said, you just lied to that man. Why would you tell that man you're going to be there to support him? You know you have no intention on doing that. You are the problem because you keep giving all this so-called empathy and sympathy and I'll do this and I'll help you when clearly you have no intentions on doing that. This is a part of the pattern, and this is a part of self-reflection that women have a tendency to do. We always can come up with the soul rehearsals that I told you last time. We rehearse
Yeah.
shit in our head, but we rehearse it knowing his predictable things he's going to do. I said, so you're telling me you already know what you're going to say? You already know what he's going to say? You already have all this figured out already? That tells me that you have all that predictable information and you know how you're going to address him. I'm like, well, let's look at this for real. Try not saying nothing. See what happens then. Well, you know, women can't shut up. They got their minds like this. Well, I gotta say this. I want to say that. He's gonna say this. I'm like, all of that's the reason you're in the mess you're in. You
It's
can't
almost
you can't let go of this man because you can't let go of the predictions and how he's going to do certain things, how he's relating to certain things, how he's going to relay his message.
and the thing is so crazy. It's almost like I told a lady, and like what you're saying about this woman, and the whole do not answer thing we talked about last week.
Right? Yes.
It's almost like no woman wants to just say, "Hey, look," and I say this to women that I do one on ones with, and they be like, but by the time they get it, I say, "Hey, what's so hard about saying I like to have something going on
Right. You're light
until
without
I got
it.
my next something going on?"
You're light
You know
without
what I'm Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like saying, what's so hard to say? You're saying do not answer, and I'll give them a window and I'll support them. What's so hard about saying, hey, look, I like to have me some going until I get me my next some going. And I watched my mom live through that. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, without that purpose, it's like I'll I don't want this guy no more, but I'll call him on the weekend and fake like him or worry him about something just so I can have something going
Yes,
on. I need some drama in my life.
yes.
Now, I need that drama in my life, but if I meet a guy tomorrow at the grocery store to say, hey, let me get your number. Can I call you? If he called me that night and said, hey, yeah, I thought you was fine, and y'all
Hmm.
start talking, that other guy is forgotten about immediately
Right. So why is that?
because there was no consequences. That's what I'm saying. A woman can go through consequences, but won't let herself think that they're consequences.
No. Well, because you got to
So
remember, they tell so much contradictory information to
yeah.
themselves. They're contradicting constantly.
So you got a situation where uh a man will sit back and say, man, I'm in jail. Fuck, I was out here selling dope. Or man, I killed that nigga. You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying? A woman never sits back and say, you know what? Here I am again alone because I did this or that. And it could be a situation where it's like her consequences to her aren't seen as consequences. So there's never any growth, never any healing. It's like sitting back saying, damn, now I know I tried to trap this man because I thought he was going to the NBA. I know I tried to trap this man because I thought he was going to the NBA.
Right.
And he ended up breaking his knee like Keith off Good Times. And
Mhm.
he didn't go to the NBA.
Right.
Now I'm with him,
Hmm.
right?
Right.
This broke man.
Now, what are you? You still with him?
No, not at all.
Of course
But I
not.
got a baby. I got a baby. I'm
Okay.
the victim. He left me with a baby.
Oh
She
shoot.
don't never sit back at the house and look at that baby or be holding that baby and say, baby, look at this. It's just me and you because I was out here trying to trap a nigga I thought was going to the NBA.
No.
If she was to happen to say that, I think her soul will bust. I don't think she could do it.
No.
I don't think she could do it.
Mm-mm.
That's why every time a woman, I see women, not every time, but you know, for the most part, back in the day, uh women that could deal with consequences, when they got fucked over by a man or broke up, they went to church. They took some time off of me. Let me self-reflect. God damn, what am I doing?
Right.
Now a woman can break up with a man and she with another man the next day because she don't want to self-reflect and see what she did. Not only is she with another man next day, she's already entertaining 3, 4 men in her inbox.
Well,
It allows social media and inbox and how much access we have, people. It allows for people never to reflect. Never to reflect.
well, what I would say
Oh,
about
I just
yeah,
got dumped. Oh, Craig's in my. Oh, Craig been trying to holler at me all month. I've been wanting to go out with him, but I was with Steve.
what I'll say about this is, and this is very unique for me to even bring this up, but I feel like if you are going to go into um, I call them relationship autopsies, and really study what happened and go through your healing and all of that, that's fine. But this long term celibacy and abstinence is not really beneficial long term.
Yeah,
I feel like a lot of women are shutting down sexually, and in their shutting down of being intimate, it's really not healthy unless you have a spiritual purpose to do it. And then also, if you are in that window of time that you're deciding to, withstand, abstain from it for a while, that's fine. But I do think that you need to be considering when you go into the abstinence that you decide when you're going to come out of it and how you're planning on reintroducing yourself back to your sexual being. Because the problem is a lot of women are shutting down sexually, and in this sexual shutdown, they're getting real loopy, and they're getting really to the point where they can't think. Because women, unfortunately, if you don't want to be honest, but this is the truth, there's a law of nature. We have a sexual biological need for men's semen. I don't care if women agree with it or not. It doesn't matter what you agree with. We can just pull it up by the law of nature. And
hmm,
if you do not have it inserted into you, you will find out that you're loopy, you're confused, you can't think, you don't have any man covering you or looking out for you, and you're definitely not sitting down being honest about what it is you need. And see, a lot of times, because there's a whole new arena of, well, we should just be abstinent and we should just this and that. It's like, well, what are you going to do afterwards? Or are you going
yeah.
to do this for a lifetime?
I agree with you because, like I said, no matter how you cut it, that body until you go through menopause and them eggs die, that body gonna produce that egg every month, and it's gonna take your hormones through what it need to take your hormones through for
Yes.
you to get that pussy up because that body wants to create life. And no
And that's
matter
what
how
that's
you cut
what
it,
it
no
is. That's
matter how
what it,
you cut it,
yep.
just like as a man, we gonna wake up. That dick gonna be hard every day, no matter how you cut it, no matter how you try to da. That body, a woman's body is saying her body actually goes through a 28-day cycle that says, "Hey,
Yes.
it's time. It's getting close to time."
Right.
And then you notice how it's like if you didn't get fucked and you didn't get impregnated, they say you got premenstrual syndrome. That means I'm just getting mad. I'm getting mad because I ain't pregnant. And they don't really realize that's what your body doing. I'm mad because I had made this egg and I ain't pregnant. And I'm gonna bleed this motherfucker out. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? So
But
I
that's
guess
why it's important and valid that we don't get too extreme. A lot of
yeah,
times we're making extreme decisions and we're not solid in understanding that we do need each other. We need men, and I don't care if they agree with me or not because I'm not here for that. You either understand what I'm saying, or if not, you need to go study and look it up. But the
yo,
reality is, you just really have to be honest with what it is versus what you want it to be. So again, this is why it's important for people to sit down and pay attention.
I know you're right because before we get out of here, I used to work with this chick, and I just thought she was so beautiful. And I used to flirt and holler at her. She just told me one day, she said, I'm a demisexual. I
What
said,
is
what's
that?
that? Yeah, I said, what's that? She said, look it up and get back to me. When I got back to her,
Mm-hmm.
uh, basically what it was saying was a woman who has been hurt so much,
Mm-hmm.
her sexual desire for man has been totally turned off. Like I was too attractive for her. And then she said that, and she said, well, somewhat that she said, but the way she broke it down to me was she only gets horny for a man that she feels sorry for, almost like she knows she not gonna be with him. It's
Mm-hmm.
just like the nigga that cut her grass. If he cut her grass real good and give her a discount, or always, she know he wanna fuck her. She'll give him some because it's like I ain't gotta be with him. And like she basically saying she's so cold on the inside, she don't like men no more.
Mm-hmm.
That's what she was saying. So she's so cold on the inside, she
Yes.
don't really like men no more. But when she get horny, she gives somebody some that uh she not sexually attracted to. She gives somebody some that like do things for her or she feels sorry for because she says she don't want to. Basically she using a man for a dildo, but she don't want it to be no handsome motherfucker that might love her down and fuck the shit out of her. So it's like I just gave this little ugly motherfucking mailman some pussy, and I feel sexy and beautiful because he thought he never could get me,
Mm-hmm.
and he know he ain't gonna never get me again. I don't want to give it to him again. But
Right.
I was just so turned on by the fact that this little ugly motherfucker could never get me. He's sitting there looking at me like, oh my, what? Come in? Man, what you talking about? And she take her clothes off and he like, she see him trembling because you know what I'm saying? A nigga that know what he doing, he gonna be the more of aggressor. I'm
Right.
shit like
Right. It is what
he
it is.
she can go to him and the way she explained it, I was like, you know what? After you said all that, I said, you just a mean, evil motherfucker that needs some dick. She said, that's what it be. That's what it be. I'm mean and I'm evil and I'm scorned, but I have to have some every now and then. But when I do it, it's not gonna be nobody that I like or that I'm attracted to that can hurt me or break my heart. It's gonna be somebody that I can rule and do
Or
like a black woman.
she needs to take the soul freeze test, and she needs to read this book.
Yeah,
Because to be
yeah,
honest
she
with you,
does. I'm gonna refer it to her.
yeah, no, really. She needs to take the soul freeze test for real because the soul freeze test is going to tell her why her soul is frozen and cold.
Yeah,
And
she is fucking
decide,
cold in the
she's
motherfucker.
beside herself will give her the skinny as to why she's not being honest about how important it is that you need a man, but you're tricking yourself. It's the mind game. I told you we do these rehearsals in here. It's the mind game of saying, well, he's not really deserving of me, but I'm gonna give him some, and then I'm gonna leave him alone. But
Yeah,
then you're tricking your mind. It's just a circus inside the mind.
yeah,
But I don't
yeah,
want to
yeah.
hold you up. I know you got to get to work, but yeah.
Yeah.
So again, with
Get the book.
she's
She's
beside
beside
her.
herself.
Yes,
Take the
sir.
soul freeze test. Get your real age, not your yearly age. Check out Miss Carla. Check out the Patreon.
Yes, sir.
Check out the Ranting Raving on all platforms. We appreciate y'all. Y'all stay tuned in, tapped in, turned on. Y'all check out my guy Trav Perry tomorrow on Facebook at 9:30.
Let's go.
Oh, we gotta go. Now it's time to say goodbye to Carla and all my friends. We kind of like to thank y'all folks for kindly dropping in. You're all invited back next week to this locality to have a heaping help of hospitality. You remember that?
Yes, I remember doing the most.
Goddamn Beverly Hillbilly, what you know about it? Bye bye. She
Bye.
said,